Now, let's talk about point-to-point networks. When we say point-to-point networks, this is a type of network where we only have two IP address in a network. So this can be any host connected directly to each other. But what I'm gonna do is I will just add two routers. Why? Because point-to-point networks, the most common use case are point-to-point routers. And okay, so we are required to use 192.168.1.0 network. But the question is, what prefix shall we use? Okay, let me just correct this or make it a little clearer. So 192.168.1.0. Again, point-to-point networks, meaning we only need two IP address. What I will do is I will use 192.168.1. So the first, second, and third octet, all decimal values, I will just convert the last octet to binary. There, okay? And I will just continue 192.168.1.000.0001. Okay, let's continue 192.168.1.000000010 and 192.168.1.0.0.0, excuse me, 00000011. Now, if I convert this to decimal, it would be 192.168.1.0, 192.168.1.1, and 192.168.1.2, and lastly 192.168.1.3. We have four IP address. And maybe you're thinking, I thought we only need two IP address. Yes, four IP address, but only two usable. And even if we have four IP address, point-to-point networks, our network addresses and broadcast addresses are still applied. What do you mean? This is still called the network. Okay, the network address. As a matter of fact, I will use /30 and look at these. Okay, this is the network address using /30 prefix. Now for the broadcast, you see this? You see this? Let me actually erase this because what happens here is, let me correct. This is 8, the first octet. This is the second octet, which is 8-bit. And what we did is we borrowed 6-bit from our original /24. We added 6-bit from the host side. Okay, so this makes it a total of /30. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 6. Total of /30. Now, the network address, let me add a divider first. I'm gonna add a divider here. And the network address will be /30, this 00. Okay, so the two zeros, these are the network address. And the broadcast address are all ones. See that? This is the only host side. These two bits, these are just the host side. And this is the reason why we only have four IP address. Okay, 00, this is our 00, this is the network. 11, this is our broadcast. Now, like what I mentioned, the network and the broadcast still being applied even for point-to-point networks. So 30 or /30, we have a total 4 IP address, but these two are not usable. The only usable IP address is .1 and .2. So what we have here in our topology, we have two routers, and let me add the name, router 1 and router 2. Okay, this is their network 192.168.1.0 192.168.1.0/30, and then I'm gonna assign the .1 IP address, which is this one, to R1, and .2 IP address, which is this one, to the second router, R2. And this is how simple designing and configuring a point-to-point network. Now, something that I would like to add, and this is actually discussed in some books. So what we had in our original network is slash 24, right? This is our original slash 24, and it's actually a class C network, okay? Starting from 192.168, the third octet can be any value, okay? And then using slash 24. That's original network slash C. What we did in our examples are we did borrowing, okay? We borrowed from slash 24, we borrowed 1 bit to the network side, making it slash 23. What we also did in our second example, the point-to-point networks, is we borrowed slash 24, borrowing 6 bit to the host side, making it slash 30. See that? We borrowed these bits. Again, slash 24 is the original network. Borrowing 1 bit, borrowing 6 bit either on the network side or the host side, making this a subnet, because our new network is customized and not the original class A, class B, or class C networks.